OMB requirements make pass-through entities accountable for subrecipient monitoring. This proves to be difficult and time-consuming. Failure to maintain compliance can put federal grant funds at risk. Information is typically maintained in disparate spreadsheets and other documents and does not provide a consolidated view across the PTE organization. This results in the Information Everywhere syndrome. Grant Governance Platform, G2P, offers a better way for grantees and subrecipients to stay on top of reporting requirements and make compliance easier. Our solution tracks grantor and subrecipient activity and provides a dashboard view of compliance. Team members have a real-time view of the compliance status of departments and agencies. With the application's drill-down capabilities, one can get a view of the compliance status of subrecipients right down to a specific grant. Because subrecipients use the online portal to submit required reports and requests, basic financial information can be captured to provide a financial dashboard showing key information, such as cost-sharing status and the amount of draw against the total grant award. Programmatic risk assessment is an important part of the compliance requirements. For many grant managers, risk assessments are often done using PDF forms, spreadsheets, or paper questionnaires. With G2P, you can create a library of questions. Questions can then be used to assemble program or grant-specific templates. A template is created by selecting questions from the library and assigning weights to the questions and values to each answer based on your scoring system. Supporting documents for responses can also be required. The risk assessment is initiated through the online portal and is routed to the subrecipient user as a task and is tracked throughout the process. Once the risk assessment is created, the subrecipient receives an email notification that a risk assessment has been assigned and a task is now available in their online workbox. The designated contact for the subrecipient will log into G2P and respond to questions in the assessment. The user can save their work as they go, attach any required supporting documentation, and submit the risk assessment packet when complete. The system scores the questionnaire, and the grant administrator receives a notification to review the response. As noted, subrecipients interact through an online portal. G2P sends reminder emails in advance of task due dates. Users log in to see the tasks that are due and respond appropriately with the required reports and information. Required documents can be attached, along with any comments as part of the submission. Grant administrators then receive notification of the submissions to allow them to review and accept the submission or route it back to subrecipients with comments for additional or corrected information. No more chasing down spreadsheets and comparing information across the organization. No more tracking down compliance information from grants principals. It's all right there, collected as part of the report submission process. As you can see, G2P provides a comprehensive view of grant compliance across the entire organization, allowing governing officials to ensure compliance and move quickly to remediate any compliance issues. Information is maintained in a single repository. Users receive automated notifications when tasks and reports are due, thus saving the time and effort of tracking due dates and issuing reminders. G2P is a cloud-based solution offering a per-grant licensing model with no upfront costs or user license expenses. Contact us to discuss our unique pricing model and to arrange for your personal demonstration of the G2P solution for your grant governance needs. Alyx Technologies' G2P solution is designed to address key areas where non-federal entities often struggle to comply with the Uniform Guidance in 2 CFR Section 200. Our solution supports programmatic risk assessments, managing ongoing interaction with subrecipients, and award closeout, all the while providing a dynamic dashboard showing a real-time view of compliance. Today, we'll talk specifically about programmatic risk assessment. Kevin works with a non-federal entity that receives federal grant funds. Kevin's organization, the Human Fund, is a pass-through entity, or PTE, for these funds. Unfortunately, Kevin just got his audit and found out he has findings because he's not been performing programmatic risk assessments of his subrecipients. Uniform Guidance in 2 CFR Section 200-205 requires that the awarding agencies evaluate risks inherent to the selection of individual grant applicants so that they may either decline to make an award or issue an award with appropriate specific conditions designed to mitigate the identified risks. Kevin wants to do what's right, but when they've tried before, it just seems so complicated and time-consuming. After all, Kevin and the Human Fund staff want to spend their time helping people, not doing administrative paperwork. Along with checking public databases, he had to create a questionnaire in Excel or PDF each time, send that to a subrecipient, and nearly always remind them that he needed it back soon. And then he had to request backup information and keep track of that, on top of scoring the responses to the questionnaires. So like we all do, Kevin went searching on the web and found Alyx Technologies' Grant Governance Platform, or G2P. G2P will help Kevin create reusable questions and questionnaires. This saves him time and allows him to be consistent when sending other risk assessments for similar grants in the future. G2P automatically sends reminders to his applicants and collects the required supporting documentation. His applicants interact via the system, so they too know what has and has not been submitted. G2P also provides a scoring feature that can be based on whatever scoring parameters are used by Kevin's organization. And G2P also lets Kevin know when the applicant has submitted their response by sending a notification email. Now let's look at how G2P helped Kevin and how it can help you and your organization get back to managing your mission. Kevin starts by adding questions to the system his organization will use in the risk assessment process. Questions have multiple choice answers, and by selecting the Add Documents checkbox, supporting documentation can be required at the time of submission. Kevin's organization might have standard questions included on all risk assessments and additional questions that are specific to the type of program. Once the necessary questions have been added to the library, they are available to create reusable questionnaires. Kevin gives the questionnaire a meaningful name and adds the necessary questions. This might include standard questions and additional program-specific questions. G2P also allows Kevin to assign custom weights to the questions and values to the responses, resulting in a weighted score. Once complete, Kevin's questionnaire is now ready for use with any applicant applying for grants under this particular program. Kevin is now ready to have his applicant respond to the questionnaire. He initiates the programmatic risk assessment and selects the questionnaire and the applicant, the Agriculture Research Institute. Kevin also assigns a due date to the risk assessment. When the applicant was entered into the system, the primary or admin contact for the organization was given a login account, and when the risk assessment is initiated, the applicant's primary contact receives an email notification. Once Hayne at the Agriculture Research Institute receives the email notification, he logs into G2P and will see the risk assessment task in his workbox. Hayne can respond to the questions in the assessment, save his work as he goes, attach any required supporting documentation, and submit the risk assessment packet when complete. Hayne will receive additional email reminders from the G2P system if he hasn't responded. Kevin doesn't have to worry about sending out the original notification or the reminders, and no more tracking spreadsheets. Once submitted, G2P calculates the score, places the completed questionnaire in Kevin's workbox, and sends him an email letting him know He has a new risk assessment response to review. Kevin logs in and selects the risk assessment task to review the score and evaluate any attached documentation. You can see why Kevin is much happier. The system allows him to create objects once and easily reuse them. He no longer must maintain a spreadsheet of outstanding risk assessments and due dates, or spend his time sending out reminders. Once submitted, the risk assessment is maintained in the system for reuse with other applications by the same applicant, and all of the associated documentation is readily available for future reference. Kevin and his staff get to focus on their mission. G2P is a cloud-based solution with no upfront costs or user license expenses. And like the Human Fund, your organization can be online with G2P in just a day or two. Be like Kevin. Contact us to discuss our unique pricing model and to arrange for your personal demonstration of the G2P solution for your grant governance needs.